Hello, vinyl community and YouTubers everywhere. Yes, it's me, and I'm back again for another video. This time I'm going to be showing and talking about my Rory Block collection. She's one of my favorites, and to try and entice a few of you to watch a little bit longer of this video, I'm going to mix up a little bit with Robert Johnson. Some of you know who Robert Johnson was. She's an expert on Robert Johnson, along with a lot of other people. And so I'm going to have some musical clips. I'm going to tell how I found out about her and got into that music. Then we'll get to some of the stuff that you'll be a little bit more interested in. And then at the very end, I'm going to show all of my vinyl and all of my CDs. And yep, I am crazy.
Well, my man's got something. He gives me such a thrill. Every time that he smiles at me, I just can't keep my body still. But I done cried so much. Look like I got the mumps. I can't keep from worrying, 'cause I'm down in the dumps. I had a nightmare last night when I lay down, and when I woke up this morning, my sweet man could not be found. And I'm going down to the river, into it I'm gonna jump. I can't keep from worrying, 'cause I'm down in the dump.
You've heard me say before, my favorite category of music is female vocals, and my favorite genre is blues, and that's blues of all kinds, of many different categories. So way back, probably around 1990, thereabouts, CDs had been around long enough. They had used ones in the used bin at the record store, and I was at my local record store going through the used CDs. I had never heard of this person before, was not familiar with her, and I looked at the title of the album, I looked at the cover, I looked at some of the tunes on the back. I don't remember back then, maybe it was $5, maybe it was $8 for a used CD. I'm going to give this a try, and of course, boom, you know what happened next.
My man's got something. He gives me such a thrill. Every time he smiles at me, I can't keep my body still. I done cried so much. Look like I've got the mumps. I can't keep from worrying, 'cause I'm down in the dumps. I had a nightmare last night when I lay down. When I woke up this morning, my sweet man couldn't be found. I'm going down to the river, into it I'm going to jump. Can't keep from worrying, 'cause I'm down in the dump.
Well, you see what happened there. Bessie was one of my favorites, so I had to see what else I could find, and I went back to the store and started digging in those used CD bins, and I found this CD.
Crying can't eat, mama said. Lord, it sure love's killing me. Crying can't eat, mama said. Sure love's killing me. Lord, Lord. I said, now can't eat, mama said. Sure love's killing me. Lord, I woke up this morning with that crying candy all around my brain. Woke up this morning with that candy around my brain. I said I woke up this morning with that candy was around my brain. Crying, Lord, Lord, I wonder will I ever get back home? Crying, Lord, Lord, I wonder will I ever get back home? Ooh, Lord, Lord, I said now, Lord, Lord, I wonder will I ever get back home?
Well, as they say, after I listened to that CD, the race was on. Had to get everything I could find with Rory Block, and I've been sticking with it till to this day. But in case there's still a couple of you left that I haven't lost yet, we're going to bring in a little bit of Robert Johnson, try to perk your interest. Here's the Robert Johnson, the complete recordings box set, Roots and Blues, Vocalion records here that he recorded on. And of course this comes with a nice book. Some of you may have this double CD set, the complete Robert Johnson, one of the most famous, one of the most important creative blues guitarists and composers. Well, Rory Block is an expert on Robert Johnson, among other things. She's one of the leading proponents, teachers, and exponents of this music over the last 40 years. And we'll have a little bit more stuff, but next I'm going to show you a video of just a little clip from one of her teaching videos. She's got many videos that she sells on DVD, teaching you how to do the licks, to play the different tunes and so forth that all the famous Delta country blues type players played. So let's check that out.
Don't you know I'm gonna join a Baptist church? Hey, hey, Lord, I said I'm gonna join a Baptist church. Gonna act like a preacher, show on how to rhyme. Lord, I said I'm gonna preach these blues. Don't you know I want everybody to shout? Hey, said I want everybody to shout. Gonna do like a prisoner, gonna hold my time on. Said I went in my room, I bowed down, prayed.
In 2006, Rory Block released this CD. The Lady and Mr. Johnson. You can see in the picture right here. And then on the back of the CD package, get it out of the glare here. When she was recording this album of all Robert Johnson material, she had thought that Robert Johnson had died and had no known relatives. Well, while she was working on this recording, she found out that relatives of Robert Johnson had been found, and the person here standing behind her is Richard Johnson, Robert Johnson's great-grandson. She called him up on the telephone and said when she found out and somebody had located the family, "I'm your old kin." And she went and visited, and she took pictures, and she talked to him about stuff. And just one example of the kind of work that she has done besides playing this music and teaching this music. And she was a lot more involved with all the old-time blues guys. I'm going to talk about that just a little bit in one of her albums coming up. But how about us have a little sample from this CD, The Lady and Mr. Johnson.
Lord, I feel so lonesome. You hear me when I'm on. Lord, I feel so lonesome. You hear me when I'm on. Who's been driving my tailplane for you since I've been gone? I said I flash your lights, Daddy. Your horn won't even blow. Somebody's been getting in and messing with this machine. Now you can flash my lights, Daddy. This horn won't even blow. I got a short in this connection. Yeah, baby, way down below. I'm gonna hoist my hood, Daddy. Said I'm bound to check the oil. Daddy said I'm bound to check the oil. I got a man that I'm loving way down in Arkansas.
The CD that really got me going on Rory Block was this CD. You've heard a little take from this earlier where she played Canned Heat, Tommy Johnson's tune that Canned Heat borrowed to name themselves with. This is a picture of her as a young girl outside her father's sandal shop. It says Allen Block Sandal Shop. Was located in Greenwich Village in the 1960s. She was born in 1949. And her father's sandal shop had a big back room and was a place where all the old-time black blues guitarists and musicians liked to hang out and jam before and after they did gigs and concerts. So she grew up as a little girl with Mississippi John Hurt, Son House, and others teaching her to play the guitar, teaching her all of the tricks and so forth. So at age 14 or 15, she worked on her first recording with Stephen Grossman, How to Play Ragtime and Blues, I think was the name of it. And I have that CD somewhere, and the record has been reissued a number of times. And then she didn't do too much with that, and still as not finishing school, she had moved to the Berkeley, California area and was playing coffee shops and gigs and so forth, and was actually sharing a place with one of the old-time blues guys and really getting into the music. Well, that was all before this was recorded. But and this CD didn't come out till 1989. But those recordings were actually put out on this record. Rory Block, I'm in Love. Pretty good looking gal there besides. And this record was issued on Blue Goose Records. And I never knew about this record till modern times here with the internet and with the Discogs, and discovered this album on researching her, and found out that then in 1989 a guy in Holland got a hold of the tapes and he remastered stuff, and they did the CD, which come out in 1989. And a couple of the tunes off of the record are not on the CD, and there's one tune on the CD that's not on the record. But basically it's the same, and this was the recording that just, for many years, was probably one of my top 10 favorite recordings. I just loved it. I'm happy to have this record near mint. I've got a couple copies of it now. You're not going to find these probably in the junk shop. I got them off of Discogs, and I was delighted to get them. And so that's really her first record as a young kid, really, the one with Stephen Grossman. And even on some of the labels there, they used a pseudonym for her because she was underage, only 14 or 15. Then when they reissued later, they put her name on. So this is the one that got me going after I found that High Heeled Blues record. I'm going to show some of the records and some of the CDs. I'll talk about them a little bit, focus on a couple that might be good if you have any interest to pick up. Of course, unless you're a nut like me, you don't need all of these. And she had kind of an interesting career. She went with one of the big labels. I'll forget which one, but I'll show those records. Talented, good-looking gal, even there at the end of the 70s. Of course, they had her trying to do disco, and that didn't work out too good. And she had a lot of talent, but what she was really interested in was the old-time blues. That's what she was good about. And big record company, you know, wasn't much money in that, so she moved on. I talked about this record. Of course, originally I just found the CD. This come out on Rounder. Rounder, I think, knew what to do with her. This was 1981, her fifth. I discovered her around 90 or 91 during when everything was CD. And I don't believe I ever had anything of hers on vinyl. I went back, a lot of this stuff reissued on CD, so I had the CDs. And then it's just been here in the last few years that I've been picking these up. So got one there near mint. Got another copy here, you know, back up. Still sealed. One of her first records just come out about the same time the Blue Goose one did. Rory Block. This is on RCA. So some of the big labels trying to figure out what to do. And this is a pretty good record. Great sounding. It's kind of doing pop tune stuff. Mastered by Bob Ludwig. So that's one you can find in the dollar bin. And then Chrysalis got a hold of her. I won't have these in exactly the right order, but this is a disco record. You can tell the way she's dressed. 1977. And then the next one, Rory Block, You're the One. Another disco record. And these weren't very successful. More or less after that, the sixth record she did, 1983, Blues Gospel. And this one is on Rounder. So Rounder knew what to do with her. They sold some records. She plays piano, guitar. There's a lot of different instrumentation on here. Harmonica, fiddle, bass, synth, pedal steel, drums, electric, acoustic guitar. This is a good record. On Alakazam, She did this record, which was a children's record, kind of fun. One that you can find cheaply. I've seen these. I picked this one up cheap someplace. I've got a rock in my sock. This one's got blues and a little mix of stuff on it. It's not bad. And then one of the really good ones she did, and this is easy to get on CD, and this would be one you might want. Rory Block, Ain't I a Woman. This is a good Japanese copy, Japanese press, all Japanese print on it, but these were ones kind of when CDs were really taken over and hard to get the record, so I found that one is a good one. 1988, she did Rory Block, Rhinestones and Steel Strings. On Rounder again. So that one's pretty good. Generally speaking, artists shouldn't produce their own records. Here's one she did, Turning Point. She produced this, co-produced it. It's kind of a mishmash. There isn't any hits on it. Discogs said blues, alt rock, acoustic, LP, EU only. This is a German press, so only on CD if you get it. The sonics were good, but all original. She wrote all the songs. Well, she's a great performer, and she's probably written a few good songs, but, you know, being a songwriter is a different issue. Now, this one I have on CD, and I'm going to show a few CDs real quick. This is one of the best one, Rory Block, Mama's Blues. And this is on, well, this is one that was so, in the U.S. is just CD, and I got the CD when it come out. But like a lot of times, you know, they like this music in the EU. They like it in Germany, so this is a German press. I actually had to order this from Germany to get this, so you're not likely to ever see the LP in a store around here. But if you just want the music, this is 1991, you know, so CDs had taken over by then. This is a good one, and I just went through those fairly quick. And I got a little handful of CDs. I have more CDs, but most of my CDs, I ripped them all into the computer years ago, and they're all packed away in boxes, and I'm not going to try to dig them out. So just one more little bit here, and we'll be through Rory Block. I'll wrap up the Rory Block showing the CDs, and as I've said, I've got some CDs packed away. I showed this record, Ain't I a Woman? This is a good one. This is excellent. So that would be one to pick up. For some reason, I got 2 copies of those. I showed this record and said I'd bought the CD when it come out. This is an outstanding one, so if you only picked up one, that would be a good one. Most of these have been on Rounder. This one is on Telarc Blues. This is a good one, and it will be all the blues kind of stuff. It's very good. Here's another Rounder, and Every Woman. This was actually a fairly early one. These ones I just showed, as you've seen, are all in jewel cases, so we know those are older. She got 2 or 3 out here in recent year or 2 that I don't have. She's done a lot of tribute to the famous black blues guitar guys. She can duplicate the playing of any of those guys. Here's Hard Luck Child, a tribute to Skip James. Here's Shake 'Em On Down, a tribute to Mississippi Fred McDowell. Excellent CD. Blues Walking Like a Man, a tribute to Son House, one of her friends for many years. Rory Block, Last Fair Deal. In Avalon, Rory Block, a tribute to Mississippi John Hurt, another one of her friends, mentors, and teachers. And of course, two of the CDs I showed in the last little bit. So, a lot of stuff about the blues here, but I thought if I was going to do something about Rory Block with Rory Block, instead of just showing 2 or 3 records, there may be a few people out there that are as interested and enthused as I am, so might as well shoot the works, and so see you all on down the trail.